All of my past Discord games have utilized reactions as the way you give input to the game and actually change the state of it and progress. I wanted to change it up and do something different. I wanted to try and get away from reactions as the main source of input. On Discord, however, you're kind of limited in what forms of input you have. Obviously, you have a chat and you have the reactions. Beyond that, though, there actually is one more form of input that I could think of, and that is through the embed itself via hyperlinks. Now, normally as a user, you can just simply paste a link in chat and that's it. Just the link is the text of where you're going, that's it. As a bot, though, with embeds, you can actually change how the link looks in chat. The link will still route to somewhere, but the actual text it shows is different. This is through Markdown, and you can actually use this to provide inputs while the input still looks like something else and not a link. To utilize this idea, I decided to make Minesweeper. The reason why I want to do this is because it's a game that requires a lot of input, and if I had done this through reactions, it probably would have looked very awfully because there are just so many tiles on the board you would want to click, and it just would not have looked great. So for the first step of this project, we need to actually be able to take an input based upon the URL the player clicks on. Now the way I did this is actually utilized my own link shortener I have on the turkey.dev website to redirect to a end IP, or in this case the server where the bot is hosted, to then be read in by the bot via Express, which is a JavaScript framework, and then translate that into an action on the board. The reason why I went with my own custom link shortener is because on the game board and embed, just like the past games, we are limited with the number of characters we can put into it. The limit here is 2048 characters. However, this gets really large when we are dealing with hyperlinks in Markdown. This is because hyperlinks in Markdown follow a format that you have to follow in order for them to work. This format is square brackets surrounding what you actually want to display on the screen, with regular parentheses surrounding the actual link that you want to take the user to when they click on this. This is a problem because every single tile in our game needs to use this format, and as the format alone without any redirect URL, that uses 5 characters as it is. That's 5 characters to display 1. So we've already taken down the total amount of characters we can actually display by 1/5. That means instead of the 2048 tiles, we are down to just over 400, which is a measly 20 by 20 grid. Now again, that's without any URL to actually redirect the user to. The URL is where things can kind of differ depending on what you use. If you happen to have a much shorter domain, you're going to be in a little bit better of luck than me because you can actually fit more tiles into your board. For me, however, I use my theturkey.dev domain. Now, unfortunately, with Discord and embeds, you actually need to prefix your links with HTTP in order for them to actually work. Now, because I have a .dev domain, it can only accept HTTPS. I can, however, set up a redirect for HTTP to redirect to HTTPS in order for it to work, so I can take one character away there and save that. However, when it comes to my website, it is 22 characters minimum in order for me to just get my domain in there. I have to then add 2 more characters to actually fit a different redirect, so that way every tile in the game can redirect to a different domain. And that leaves us with just about 30 characters in order for one tile. So after doing all the tricks I can in order to squeeze as many characters into one space while still getting a valid domain to then redirect to the bot, I get an example of this, where the last 2 characters are changing depending upon what tile you click, in total for 28 characters for one tile, which allows us to have a maximum grid size of 8 by 9. Now this grid size isn't huge, but given the easy mode on Google when you search Minesweeper is a 8 by 10 grid, I think we can just have a big enough size to actually play Minesweeper. So with that said, let's actually make the game and continue on from there. So after setting up all the shortened URLs to then redirect to a URL that contains the column and the row that you've clicked upon, I then set the bot up to receive that and actually change the tile where you clicked from a blue square to a white square. Now that we have the ability to actually click on a tile and change it, I need to add the ability to add an action to where you can specify whether or not you want to be clicking on a tile or marking it as a flag. For this, I went back and realized the reactions that you can do to be able to switch between clicking and flagging via reactions. Luckily, Minesweeper is a relatively easy game to make because all you have left to do is to add bombs and reveal tiles. For bombs, I went with a relatively simple solution, and that was to simply just generate some random numbers and place 7 bombs randomly on the map and save them to a list where we can know if that tile is a bomb or not a bomb. Now that we have bombs in the equation, we need to actually enhance our tile reveal method. Instead of just revealing a tile and changing it from blue to white, we need to actually display if it's a bomb, if it's nothing, or if it's a number corresponding to how many bombs are around that tile. To do this, I actually implemented a recursive method to where when you clicked into it, reveal the tile you're at. If it is a bomb, it would just display a bomb. The game would therefore end based upon that. However, if it was not a bomb, it would then count the number of bombs in a adjacent tile. If that number was 0, it would reveal that tile and then recursively call all the tiles around it. That way it creates this chain reaction like effect where it shows a bunch of tiles all at once, all of them that either just have a number or have nothing around it, and just expands that way. However, if that tile has one or more bombs around it, it does not recursively call, and it simply instead just puts a number on that location representing how many bombs are around that tile adjacently. And then last but not least, we add code to on every action or every step of the game. We check all the tile locations. If we have marked all the bombs, the game ends and we have won. If we have accidentally clicked on a bomb, the game ends and we lose. And that's it. Literally the game is there. I do make some final kind of cleanup stuff to where when you actually click on a URL, it redirects you. That tab will automatically close. That way you don't have 50 million tabs open. And I actually also added down the line the ability to kind of see which state you're in, if you're on a clicking state or if you're in a flagging state, just as a way to kind of help the user know where they're at. And so there it is. That's Minesweeper, and I would argue a very kind of clean solution for where you actually feel like you're playing Minesweeper by actually clicking on the tiles and playing that way. Now, I know this isn't very flashy. It's a little bit jank and a little bit kind of clunky almost, but again, I'm working with Discord here. It's not the easiest platform. It's not meant for this. Literally, the platform is not meant to do this. So very much a hack, but anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed. At this point, I don't really plan to open this bot up at all. I don't plan to release this publicly. The code's all there. Feel free to use the code. Feel free to reference the code to make your own games, make your own bots. I do ask, though, if you do use my code to please give me credit where it is due, whether it's in the bot, in the game, or have you. Please, the only thing I do ask, but you are free to use this code as you wish and learn that way. Now, the reason why I'm planning to not make this bot public is because these games really just are proof of concepts. They're not meant to be polished. They're not meant to be the best they are. And honestly, a lot of the games like Snake, they just don't scale well at all. Snake can only have one instance running at a time or else it just doesn't work. The limitation with Discord is 5 actions per server. That's it. That's all you can do. You cannot go above that limit. It's 5 actions every 5 seconds. That's your limit. So Snake really pushes that limit. I mean, honestly, you can only do 1 move every second, and honestly, a lot of people are trying to do more, and when you do more, the game just doesn't work. So at the end of the day, I could clean this up and make it public, but it's just a lot more work, and these games just are not really meant to be on Discord. They're not meant to work. So again, hopefully you understand my kind of idea and where I'm coming from when I'm choosing not to do this, but at any rate, I've loved making these proof of concepts. I think you guys enjoyed seeing these proof of concepts. As always, you can play the games on my Discord. Feel free to go check there. I'll try and keep them up and kind of improve them as needed, but feel free to use these ideas to make your own stuff, make your own projects, push the limits that way, and have fun there. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I have another idea for Discord games in the future that I think will really make this kind of clean and just be that next level up. So if you do subscribe, you'll stay up to date with that and see that video when I get around to it in the future. But anyways, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I look forward to doing these. Again, they're very much fun. So I will see you guys all next time. Peace out.